I married a man who married someone else while he was still married to me. And the bride? She looked exactly like me. Same hair, same smile, same everything. Like he went shopping for a replacement and found my twin. I need to tell you this story because I'm still trying to make sense of it myself. And maybe, just maybe, someone out there has felt this kind of crazy too. My name is Sarah. I'm 34 years old. I live in Portland, Oregon. And up until 8 months ago, I thought I had a pretty solid marriage. Not perfect, but solid. The kind where you trust the person sleeping next to you. The kind where you don't question the little things because why would you? You're married. You're supposed to be on the same team. My husband's name was Daniel. We met at a coffee shop in 2016. I know, super cliche, but it's true. I was working on my laptop. He spilled his latte near my table. We laughed about it, and 3 months later we were dating. He proposed 2 years after that. Small wedding, just family and close friends. Nothing fancy, but it was ours. Daniel worked in tech, software development, and about a year and a half ago, he got this huge opportunity with a company that had offices overseas, Singapore specifically. They wanted him to lead a project out there, and the pay was insane, like life-changing money. He'd be gone for stretches, sometimes 3 weeks, sometimes a month, but he'd come home between trips. We talked about it for weeks. I didn't love the idea of him being gone so much, but we had plans. A house, maybe kids eventually. This job was supposed to set us up. So he took it. At first, it was fine. He'd FaceTime me every night, send me pictures of the city, the food, the office. We talked for hours. He seemed stressed sometimes, but I figured that was normal. New job, new country, a lot of pressure. I missed him like crazy, but I believed in us. I believed in him. Then the calls started getting shorter. 10 minutes instead of an hour. He'd say he was exhausted, that the time zone was killing him, that work was brutal. I got it. I told myself I got it. But there was this little voice in the back of my head that started whispering. Just quiet at first, like, hey, something feels off. But I ignored it. Because what was I going to do? Accuse him of something based on a feeling? He came home for Christmas last year, spent 2 weeks with me. And honestly, he seemed fine. A little distant maybe, but he was affectionate. We went out to dinner, watched movies, had sex. It felt normal. I thought I'd been paranoid. When he left again in January, I felt better. Like we were still okay. But then February hit. And that's when everything fell apart. It was a Tuesday night. I remember because I just finished a long shift at the hospital. I'm a nurse, and I was exhausted. I poured myself a glass of wine, sat on the couch, and opened Instagram. Just mindless scrolling, you know. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just existing. And then I saw it. A suggested post. One of those things Instagram throws at you based on God knows what algorithm. It was a wedding photo. A beautiful one, actually. Outdoor ceremony, string lights, sunset in the background, the kind of picture that makes you feel happy for strangers. Except the groom wasn't a stranger. It was Daniel. I'm not kidding. It was my husband. Same face, same smile, same tiny scar above his left eyebrow from a biking accident when he was 12. I stared at my phone like it was going to suddenly make sense. Like maybe I was seeing things. Maybe it was someone who looked like him. But no, it was him. Wearing a suit I'd never seen before. Standing next to a bride in a white dress. And the bride, oh my God, the bride. She looked like me. Not kind of like me, not similar. She looked like she could have been my sister, my twin. Same dark brown hair, same length, same wave, same body type, same smile. She even had a similar nose. I felt like I was looking at myself in someone else's wedding photos. My hands started shaking, like physically trembling. I couldn't breathe. I kept staring at the picture, zooming in, trying to find some detail that would prove I was wrong. But I wasn't wrong. The caption was in another language, looked like Indonesian or maybe Malay, but there were English hashtags. Hashtag just married, hashtag forever starts now, hashtag Singapore bride. Singapore? I clicked on the account. It was public. The bride's name was something I couldn't pronounce, but her bio said she was a marketing consultant in Singapore. And her entire feed was full of photos. Photos of her and Daniel on dates, at restaurants, on beaches, holding hands, kissing, and wedding photos. So many wedding photos. The wedding had happened 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks. While I was here waiting for his nightly FaceTime call that barely lasted 5 minutes. I screamed. I actually screamed out loud in my living room. My cat jumped off the couch and ran into the other room. I threw my phone across the room and it hit the wall. I didn't care. I wanted to break something. I wanted to break everything. But then I stopped because I needed to think. I needed to understand what I was looking at. I picked up my phone, screen cracked now but still working, and I went back to the Instagram account and I started scrolling. And the more I scrolled, the sicker I felt. There were photos going back almost a year. A full year. Pictures of them together at a New Year's Eve party, at a beach resort, at what looked like her family's house. He was in so many of them, smiling, laughing, looking happy, looking like a man in love. And she looked like me. I couldn't stop staring at her face. It was like looking into a funhouse mirror. Not exactly mean, but close enough that it felt deliberate. Like he'd gone out and found someone who looked like me so he could replace me without actually leaving me. I felt insane. I felt like I was losing my mind. How does this happen? How does someone do this? I grabbed my laptop and searched for the wedding photos on Facebook. Found them. Same pictures, same captions, people congratulating them, her family, his co-workers, I guess. All these people celebrating a wedding that shouldn't exist because he was already married. To me. I looked at our wedding photos, mine and Daniel's, pulled them up on my phone, compared them side by side, and I swear to God, if you put me and this other woman next to each other, people would think we were related. It wasn't a coincidence. It couldn't be. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. I just sat there, scrolling through her Instagram, through Facebook, looking for more answers. I found her LinkedIn. She was real. She had a full life, a career, friends, and now apparently a husband. My husband. I wanted to call him. I wanted to scream at him through the phone. But part of me was terrified. What if he denied it? What if he had some explanation that made me sound crazy? What if I was wrong somehow, even though I knew I wasn't? Instead, I messaged her. I know, stupid, right? But I couldn't help it. I created a fake Instagram account, just some random name and a generic profile pic, and I sent her a DM. I kept it simple. I said, "Hi, I saw your wedding photos. Congratulations. Can I ask, what's your husband's full name?" I didn't expect her to respond, but she did, within an hour. She said, "Thank you so much. His name is Daniel Carter." Daniel Carter. That's him. That's my husband. I wrote back, "That's so funny. I know a Daniel Carter. Does he work in tech?" She said, "Yes, software development. He's amazing. We're so happy." I stared at those words. We're so happy. I wanted to tell her. I wanted to say, "Hey, guess what? He's married to me. I'm his wife. You're married to a liar." But I didn't. Not yet. Because I needed to talk to him first. I waited until the next evening. He FaceTimed me like usual. I answered. He looked tired, but he smiled when he saw me. He said, "Hey babe, how was your day?" I said, "It was interesting. I saw something online. something I need to ask you about." His face changed, just a little, a flicker of something. Fear, maybe? He said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I saw your wedding photos." Silence. Complete silence. He didn't move, didn't blink, just stared at me through the screen. I said, "You got married, Daniel, in Singapore 3 weeks ago. I saw the pictures." He opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. He said, "Sarah, I can explain." I laughed. I actually laughed, because what explanation could possibly make this okay? I said, "Explain what? That you married someone else while you're married to me? That you've been living a double life for a year? That you found someone who looks exactly like me so you could have a replacement?" He said, "It's not like that." I said, "Then what is it like?" He rubbed his face. He looked like he was going to cry. He said, "I didn't plan this. I swear. I met her at work. We started talking. And I don't know, Sarah, I felt trapped. I felt like I was living 2 lives and I didn't know how to fix it." I said, "So your solution was to get married again? Are you insane?" He said, "I thought I could make it work. I thought I could keep both. I know that sounds terrible, but I didn't want to lose you, and I didn't want to lose her either." I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I said, "Does she know about me?" He didn't answer. I said, "Daniel, does she know about me?" He whispered, "No." I hung up. I couldn't listen anymore. I blocked him. I blocked his number, his email, everything. I didn't want to hear his voice. I didn't want to see his face. And then I told her. I messaged her from my real account this time. I sent her screenshots of our wedding photos, our marriage certificate, photos of us together over the years. I told her everything. I said, "Your husband is my husband. He's been lying to both of us." She didn't respond right away. I thought maybe she'd block me. Maybe she wouldn't believe me. But 2 hours later, she called me. We talked for 3 hours. She was devastated. She'd had no idea. He told her he was single, that he'd never been married, that he was working in Singapore permanently and had no ties back in the States. She'd believed him, because why wouldn't she? People don't usually lie about being married. We compared stories, the timelines, the trips. He'd been jungling us both. When he told me he was in Singapore, sometimes he actually was. But sometimes he'd fly back to the States and tell her he was visiting family. He'd created this whole elaborate web of lies. And the worst part? She said he told her he loved her because she reminded him of someone he used to know. Someone important. He'd shown her a picture once. She said, "It was you. I look like you. He picked me because I look like you." That broke me. That was the moment I realized how sick this whole thing was. He didn't just cheat. He didn't just lie. He replaced me with someone who looked like me because he wanted the version of me he'd fallen for, but without the actual commitment, without the real me. She filed for annulment. I filed for divorce. We both hired lawyers. And Daniel, he tried to fix it. He sent emails, letters, voicemails, begging us both to forgive him, saying he loved us both, that he made a mistake. But here's the thing. It wasn't a mistake. It was a choice, a series of choices. Every time he lied, every time he boarded a plane, every time he looked at both of us and pretended everything was fine, that was a choice. The divorce was finalized 2 months ago. I kept the house, he kept his shame, and we stayed in touch for a while. We bonded over the weirdness of it all. She sent me a message last month. She said she'd cut her hair short and dyed it blonde. She said she needed to stop looking like me. I understood. I still think about it every day, about how someone can lie like that, about how he looked at me and saw something he could duplicate, something he could replace. I don't trust people the way I used to. I don't think I ever will. But I'm still here. I'm still standing. And I'm telling you this because maybe someone out there needs to hear it. Maybe someone else is feeling that little voice in the back of their head, that voice that says something's wrong. Listen to it. Trust yourself. Because if I'd listened sooner, maybe I could have saved myself a year of being gaslit, a year of loving someone who didn't exist. Comment below your story. I read every comment. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more.